much. Ensemble, very important. Say it. No, say it like you meant it. No, put your hand up in your neighbor's face like this and say, oh, yeah. Ensemble is so extremely important. I'll tell you what, ensemble is an image of life in heaven and on earth. And let those students know how important that is, and the administration to know how important ensemble is, because it is a reflection, it's an image of life itself. The way you behave in the ensemble is exactly the way you behave in the community. Yeah. So you want to ask the students, what kind of a neighbor are you? And the way you behave here is exactly the way you behave in the community, and our community has all kinds of people. I have neighbors who really improve the neighborhood. Every time I see them, it puts a smile on my face, and they wave, and they help, and they're encouraging. I also have a few who just sneak in and out, don't have anything to do with anybody, and let their yards go to waste. They degrade the community instead of aid the community. And we learn that in ensemble, and you let your administration know that's why it's so important. Not just for music students, any kind of ensemble, that every student should have the experience. We sing for ourselves, but we are only one voice. But when we sing together, then we have the benefit of harmony. And that's what we are supposed to do in this ensemble. We're supposed to harmonize with one another. Not only do we harmonize with one another, we're supposed to feel together, move together. And Aristotle, again, 2,000 years ago talked about ensemble. And he said, the true ensemble is a commendable knack of subordinating oneself for the benefit of the whole. Subordination is not a good term for our contemporary society. But he said, if you do subordinate yourself for the benefit of the whole, he calls that a commendable thing to do. And so that's amazing. And I could also look at it a little selfishly and say, well, in the center of doing, we actually become the center of receiving. By the way, I should have mentioned this at the very beginning. My very best friend at home taught PowerPoint. And I know that you're only supposed to put up just the key points. Don't put up a whole verbiage so people have to read. And I should have mentioned that if you don't want to take notes, you just take a picture of the screen with your phone, and then you don't have to copy anything down. Anyway, ensemble requires teamwork, of course. And of course, the most successful endeavors in life all require teamwork, whether it's a family or the neighborhood, the community, the church, the school, the state, the country, the world. It just always requires teamwork. And teaching people good ensemble behavior teaches them the habits that are essential for being happy and productive. Happy and productive. And that's what I wanted to start out with. A musical ensemble inspires the heart to love. To love. Think about this. And remind the students of that. Love. Often. Ensemble coordinates our emotions. So become as one. And then we perform. We performers are the instrument through whom the composer and the poet speak. And I know you know all of this. I know you know all of this. But I hope it's nice to remind ourselves and encourage each other once in a while. And we become as one with the composer and the poet, even if they're dead. Like I said with Bach, I felt in a oneness with him. He speaks to us from the dead. We know more about that individual and what's inside of that individual through music than you could ever by reading all the biographies in the world. So in summation, let's see if you and I agree on these few facts before we go on. First of all, I would rather change lives than chase notes. If you agree, would you raise your hand? Okay, well, good. 2, I'd rather be a teacher than a director. If you agree, stomp your foot. Okay, good. I consider music a most worthy subject for all human beings. If you agree, would you nod your head? Okay, thank you. Very good. My classroom will be both a sanctuary, which means a safe place, and where there are no penalties for wrong notes, and yet a place of adventure, a place where everybody wants to do a good job. If you agree with that, say amen. All right. Ensemble is most essential in teaching human beings to work together in peace and harmony with one another. And if you agree, then shout amen. All right, okay. Okay, then we're ready to put into practice. If we all agree with this, we're ready to put into practice the purpose of all art. And actually, I can summarize the purpose of all art into one word, and that's to express. Express what? Express every human emotion mankind has ever felt. From the depths of despair to the heights of ecstasy, all of that can be expressed through music. Art allows us to express every human emotion from the depths of despair to the height of ecstasy. And human emotion comes in waves. Wait. Whenever I'm conducting an ensemble, I always say, okay, I don't have very many important things to say, but this is the most important thing I'm going to say all day long. Human emotion comes in waves. What does that have to do? Listen. Any artist who does not understand that natural human condition will never make great art. In other words, when a human being suffers a tragedy, like the loss of a loved one, we all experience the same power on the inside. It builds up to where we're ready to explode. And then we we spill it out. And what happens? The minute we spill it out, we get relief. What you said about your story about the dog. Yeah, we get relief. It doesn't mean it's not going to well up and overtake us again. But every time we spill it out, we get relief. And at the other end of the spectrum, sometimes at the most inappropriate place, we just can't hold it back. We have to spill it out. And we get relief. You hear the joke the second time? Won't happen, will it? Doesn't happen. So we all have that same human condition working in us. Now, as children, their life consists of little waves. I mean, they can be laughing, screaming one minute, and then crying the next second. As we get older, the waves get bigger, they get slower. Finally, we get to the Brahms Requiem, and it takes 45 minutes for the wave to crest. An artist who doesn't understand that will never make great art. That's why so much of the contemporary noise makers have music, or they call it music. It starts forte and it blasts away 5, 10, 15 minutes all at one level, high level. And the only way you can appreciate it is to inject your veins with some substance. No. Human emotion comes in waves. I think that's a very important thing we should understand. An ensemble, your principal says, why? Well, listen, ensemble teaches sensitivity. Where else? What other subject in school are they going to teach sensitivity? And sensitivity bolsters sympathy. The only way you're going to be sympathetic is if you're a sensitive individual. And if you're not sympathetic to one another, then you're pathetic. And since I believe that most of us are philosophically in agreement now, and you have said you were. We're now ready to make the most important decision that you and I have to make in our profession. And choose the music. Choose the music. What's the first thing you look at in choosing the music? First thing I look at is the text, the words. No, not the pretty melody, the harmony. The word, the text. Because I have never seen a great piece of music with a cheap text. Have you? Talk to me. Have you? You know a great piece of music with a cheap text? I know some awful music with good text, but not the other way around. So, okay, the text is extremely important. The message is hidden in the text. And the first thing I ask is, what can I teach with this piece? Or what would my students learn that will be of value? Listen. What will my students learn that will be of value? They're going to absorb this into their brain. Is it worthy to take up space in that human's brain? And especially if you ask them to memorize it. Because you know that when you memorize something that has a melody attached to it, you kind of remember it for life. Don't you? Sometimes you've forgotten a song, you don't hear for 15 years, all of a sudden you hear and you still remember the words. Yeah. So I always ask myself, what can I teach? And will it be of value? A couple of weeks ago, I worked with Mississippi State. Great choral program there. And they sent me the music that they were doing. Boy, I'm going to tell you, I immediately checked it because I thought, if there's a piece that I don't think has a valuable message, I'm not going to do it. Fortunately, they all were, so that was good. And so what's a good text? What is a good text? Some people say, well, it depends on your taste. No. Now, philosophically, a good text has 3 ingredients. Things always have 3 ingredients. A good text is thought-provoking. 2, it's poetic. That means it compresses as much meaning as possible into a few words as possible. You know, Stravinsky wrote his music and he said, all I do is I take out all the non-essential notes and leave the skeleton, as his music sounded like that. You know, but a good poet will take out all the non-essential words. And then, of course, it's going to improve the tone quality. And let's check that out. You take out that music when soft voices die. Do you have that piece? Music when soft voices die. Didn't we mention people to look that up? All right. Music when soft voices die. I'll let you sing from your seat if you promise to make noise. And you know what the routine is, right? Straight through. Straight through. Whether you sing or not, I'm going to enjoy it because I'm going to conduct my imagination. And of course, I am going to ask Jia Young to play. So, here we go. Got it? the students will read the first page. The words. Thank you so much. Who are you again?
Preston both look.
Yeah, good. Thank you so much.
Music. When soft voices die, vibrates in the memory. Odors when sweet, violets sicken, live within the sense they quicken.
What does that mean? Anybody? Anybody? I like it. Annie?
Yeah, basically the same.
No, not the same thing.
Well, I was
If
just going to
it's
say,
close to the same
that
thing,
even
say,
after, yeah, even after the flowers die, you can still remember how they smell.
yes. Yes.
It's a simile because it's the way the music enters in our mind and our soul, and it almost literally buzzes in our ears. Not maybe a literal vibration, but such a figurative one, so powerful.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say something? Last chance. Yes, sir.
The violets sicken, maybe out of difficult things comes memories that last. They heighten your emotion, so it's memorable.
Yeah, so that's what you're going to do with your students, right? Every song. I'm not going to tell you what I think. The minute I say, then your thinking stops. It ceases. And I want to hear different voices so that not one of these are going to linger in the minds of everyone. And then everyone will continue. Now, we'll ask you again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. But that's long enough, just a few seconds so nobody gets bored. But there just isn't anything, I think, that attracts more attention than when you ask and then let people speak. It's like asking the man on the street, what is music, etc. Yeah, the idea is to make them think. Let me ask you, is this, you think this text measures up to this standard? Is it thought-provoking? Absolutely. You can discuss it for a semester, right? There is no end to be thought-provoking. Is it poetic? Oh, yes. Yeah, you can tell. Nothing is interesting. And does it improve the tone quality? Well, I added that because cheap texts will have a tendency to bring a twang in the voice, like, tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. Well, you hear that one time, you don't sit around and discuss the meaning of the text. It's all obvious, But music when soft voices die, or a rose touched by the sun's warm rays. Oh, hallelujah. Those things actually improve the tone quality. Does the music match the text? Yeah, and we could talk about how and why, but we don't have time. We're not going to take time to do that. Is it worthy of a memorization? Would you think that that's a healthy thing for a human being to memorize these words? Yeah. And then next week, let's ask someone to read the second page, and you tell me what it means. So the whole point is to teach them how to think for themselves. And I say, ask not what you can do to the music, ask what the music can do for you. I'm very selfish when it comes to music. Music was given to me, to us human beings, to use, to strengthen us, to give us encouragement, to use to praise Him, the giver, etc., etc. It just goes on. Like I said, for 2,000 years, they've tried to define it, and they've never come up with a definitive explanation. Let's try another piece. Could you find Festival Piece on St. Anne by Eugene Butler? And while you're looking for that, I might add that Sherry Porterfield, that last tune, was a student of mine. Now, maybe some of you in junior high have seen some of her pieces. She was always writing for junior high. She was an outstanding junior high teacher. She loved that age group, and she continued to write for that age group. But I asked her when she was a grad student, to write something for my choir. And so one day she brought this, and what I love to do is bring the composer up and say, okay, I want you to tell us what went through your mind first where did this idea come from? You know, and some of them are really good at explaining this. And you know what Sherry said? She said, Dr. Ehly, I don't know. I remember sitting down with this text and starting to write, but I really don't remember doing it. To me, that is real inspiration. That's the types of things I'd like to look for. If the song doesn't have a story behind it, it's not worth doing. I thought that was amazing when she said that. Okay, let's look at Festival Piece on St. Anne. Who does not have it? Everybody's got it. Whoa, okay. Now, we go straight through, right? First time, straight through. But since we're all adult educators here, I will say, I use this piece many, many times to demonstrate to young people who are likely to write music why I think it's perfect. I think it's like a perfect piece. I think the text is perfect. I think the writer, Isaac Watts, was perfect in delivering the message. And I think the music is perfect match to the text. And I think Butler's arrangement is perfect. And then we discuss why. So here we go. Brass. One. Dun, 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 dun. Timpani. Zoom, 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 zoom. Oh God. Before the hills in Hallelujah, hallelujah, when earth received her, hallelujah, hallelujah, from everlasting Just play the trumpet. Before the rising sun. Play with us. Time like ever. Da 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 da. You can just discuss this for a semester. But you notice what Eugene did? He doesn't interfere with the introduction, creating a bunch of new music, flower music. No, he just uses the theme. Dum, 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 dum. Coloration. And then we sing. Oh God, our help in ages. He waits until the end of the phrase and then da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Our hope for you to come, da-da-da, da-da. Okay? Is this a powerful melody? What makes it powerful? Talk to me. Somebody. Yes?
I'd say the rhythm, the quarter notes are powerful. It's not like very subdivided and stuff, and that helps it feel strong.
Good. Yes?
It's in unison.
Yes. Yes.
It's an arrangement of a very traditional hymn that brings people into it because it's something they've done for years. So it's a very powerful message of a melody to recognize.
You're talking about after we already know it. I was saying, and I'm thinking, okay, the most powerful melody I know that's ever been written by anybody is this one. Freude schöner Götter Funken Tochter Elysium. No skips. Simplest could possibly be the most powerful one. What about this one? What do you think of this? Da 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 da. Does that make any sense? Well, okay. It's just a scale, right? Unless somebody changes the rhythm. Da 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 da. Powerful, yeah. Diatonic, that's what he has here too. So it's a powerful melody written to a powerful text. Oh God, our help in ages past and for years to come. And it is a super arrangement. And second verse, different. Ladies sing, little trumpet descant. Next, everybody a cappella, time. Somebody read it. Who would read that line, please? Volunteer, please. Yes.
Time, like an ever-rolling stream, bears all its sons away. They fly forgotten as a dream, dawns at the opening day.
Now can you read it with more passion and more drama? Music is drama. And the only reason we love drama is because it's an exaggeration of life. And even sports is an exaggeration of the normal bodily functions. If it's not an exaggeration, we don't pay attention. So read it as an exaggeration. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Time, like an ever-rolling stream,
Yes.
bears all its sons away. They fly, forgotten as a dream, dies at the opening day.
Just like your dream dies when you wake up. What does that mean? Oh, it'd be so fun to hear your answers. But that is what I call a good text. Has all of the qualities that we are looking for. Okay, enough. Let's move on. Next, the title of my book was supposed to be Living to Learn, Learning to Teach, Teaching to Learn How to Live. And Lorenz, the publisher, said it's too long. Well, I know, I've seen a lot of books have longer text than that, don't you? Longer titles than that. But they absolutely refused. They changed it to Hoagie's Journey. But if they'd have kept it, maybe they wouldn't have had to declare bankruptcy, you know? Anyway, I think was trying to make a point. And here's the point. Living to learn. As human beings, learning gives human a purpose to live. To stop learning is to start dying. Do you know anybody who's started to die very young? To stop learning is to start dying. So we learn to live. Yeah. We live to learn, learning to teach. I came to the realization that every human being is a teacher. First when, it was actually Don Hinshaw, Hinshaw Publishing Company, he came out and he was trying to pump me up into writing some stuff, some lecture things, And I didn't want to do that kind of a book because I know what happens. People buy it and put it on the shelf. And I wanted my relatives who, and my children and grandchildren who don't know that much about music to enjoy it too. So that's why at first I spent a month of January writing to choral directors. And I thought, wait a minute, these philosophies apply to all music teachers. So I spent the month of February rewriting everything, so including orchestra and band directors. And then in March I thought, wait a minute. These philosophies are really about teaching in general. It applies to all subjects. So I spent the month of March rewriting everything. And then I got to thinking, everybody is a teacher. Two children on the playground, one will say, let's do this, and the other one will say, no, let's do this. Yeah. The power of persuasion. Parents to their children. Doctors to their patients. Lawyers to their clients, and on and on. A human being's success depends on their ability to teach. That is, to persuade. Now, I realize there are some horrible people who I won't dignify by calling them teachers, like Hitler and Stalin, but they were giant persuaders. But what were they doing? They got great following and they convinced people to do terrible things. And so we're learning to teach, teaching to learn how to live. In other words, promoting worthy things. So that's what I thought it was about. And this is you. Seriously, this is you. This is what you are doing. You're teaching people the value of the greatest gift next to the Word of God, music. It's up to you to be of good courage to everybody else. That's what music is. It's supposed to be uplifting. You're the artist in residence of the community. It's up to you to spread the gospel of music. And I know how you feel. I feel the same way in my community. I'm just one little person that happens to be in this specialty. None of my neighbors know what my life is like. And they don't ask. If they don't ask, I don't tell them. I'm always asking them, how's the corn growing? Did you get rain? Nobody asks me. Maybe they just can't visualize what we're doing. And all of you have the greatest theologians and the greatest philosophers, the greatest philosophical and theological minds to support you, to help you to be both happy and productive in yourself. And so by regarding everything, every waking moment as an adventure and living and learning and being interested in everyone and everything, and seeing the extra in the ordinary, then you've got to be happy and definitely productive. I told you that I would concentrate mainly on philosophy, didn't I? I said would not touch on methodology. But I will. The little time we have left, I'll touch on methodology because I do not want to leave thinking that philosophy is more important than methodology. Did I not say they are of equal value? Absolutely, they have equal value. But I've been retired for 21 years, so I'll leave the how and the methodologies to the younger generation who have to constantly be changing, teaching people how to sing with masks on and stuff that I don't know anything about. So let's move on to a little methodology. So I want to ask you, what do you think is the most important, the most essential entity for members of an ensemble? When you come into the room, what is the most important thing? What is the most important quality, or I call it entity, or yes? I like it. Yes.
Probably that they care about each other.
Yes. Yes.
Respect.
Respect. I like it. Anything else? Yes.
That they feel safe.
Feeling safe.
Feel safe. I like it. Okay. Well, I think it is one word. You know, gotta keep it simple. Attitude. Attitude. Hey, you give me a room full of great singers, prima donnas, with a lousy attitude, my life is miserable. And I have experienced that lots of times at the conservatory. Give me a room full of people that don't know how to sing with a great attitude. We're going to show you some miracles. Attitude is absolutely first. I'll tell you one example. There's a woman, she's no longer working because she's very ill. Her name is Sally Herman. I don't know if you ever heard of her, but she was a fantastic teacher. I call her master teacher, mostly in junior high. Then she finally moved to a high school. And I was so excited to see what she would do. She moved into September, and in April, I invited her choir over to the conservatory to sing for us. And she said, well, we can only do 2, maybe 3 songs. What? After a whole year? She said, I've had to spend the year shaping the attitude. She had 120 singers, all volunteer. There was no audition. That's how important I think attitude is. Yeah, well, then, after attitude, there are, in my opinion, okay, now, those of you who are young and just starting teaching, there are 6 basic fundamentals, which, if they are in place, that choir is going to sound great. If the choir doesn't sound good, you are going to find a weakness in one of those 6 basic fundamentals. I say basic fundamentals. And they are of equal importance. Got it? Okay. So, here they are. Following attitude, the most important entity are the 6 basic fundamentals. Tone, quality, diction, dynamics, breath management, pitch, rhythm. In that order. Excuse me? In that order. Of importance? No, they're all equally important. But I did have a band director come up and say, I disagree with your arrangement. I say rhythm is the most important because it's the skeleton, holds everything together. And I said, did I not say they're of equal importance? Okay, they're of equal importance. But the reason they should be taught in this order is because when you analyze how the brain works, look, when a human being gets ready to make a sound, the first thing that comes in to mind, they may not even be aware of it, but the first thing that comes into mind is the quality they want to produce. They're either going to go, ah, or they're going to go, oh. That's the first decision the brain makes. Next is the diction, whether they're going to go, ah, or oh. They make, and it happens so quickly, it's like almost simultaneously, but not quite. First, the tone quality, which is so much ignored by so many people. Then the decision, what vowel, and then how strong, the dynamics. Because that depends on, I'm going to sing, or I'm going to sing. And then what happens? We take the breath. The amount of breath we take is determined by what those other 3 are determined. Do you get what I mean? Do you see what I mean? And then, after the breath, phonation. And that's your pitch, which you've been thinking about also all the time. And then, depending on how long you hold it, determines the rhythm. And I do not like the shotgun approach. I do not like when teachers go up in front of the choir and start rehearsing. Sopranos, no, a little faster. Altos, a little rich. Basses, a little deeper, and attacking all of these things at the same time. Does it make sense? I say you take 6 weeks, the first 6 weeks. The first week, we rehearsed, but I concentrated on tone quality. And with each one of these, wait, I don't have time, but I wish I could dissect it. Here, each one of these requires a philosophy, a methodology, and a vocology. There is no such word, but it rhymes. So I use it. You have to make a decision. Like I say, okay, to me, my philosophy of tone quality, it's got to be natural, free environment. That's it. And then I'd explain in detail what that philosophy means. And next, you have to have a methodology, how to teach it. And my explanation has to be quick, direct, to the point, hurry, before they get bored. And then third, you have to have some kind of vocalese to demonstrate. So we sing, me, me, mama, whatever. So we do that with each one of these. The first week, just tone quality. Second week, diction in great detail. Third week, dynamics, etc. Now, don't have time to do them all, but I will select. Let's say I'll select one to demonstrate a little bit so that it has to be quick and it's got to make a difference. It absolutely has to make a difference. And so, all right, tell me, choir, what is this? Mezzo forte. What is mezzo forte? Medium loud. What is medium loud? Ah, there you go. There you go. What is medium loud to you is not medium loud to you. Excuse me. Medium loud is your natural dynamic level. When I take a breath and phonate, I don't push and I don't hold back. I just sing, ah, ah. You do it and get that feeling. Go ahead. And do it again. Get that feeling. Yeah. So maybe when we're sight singing, we do that. A natural dynamic level. What is this? Ah. What is this? No, it is not softer. Get that out of your head. It is not softer. It is a feeling of holding back 1 degree. Ah. What do you think is more difficult to sing? Mezzo piano. Because I'm doing it with a breath. So you do it. First, mezzo forte, go. This is definitely quieter, but let's get a mental image of it. Take your hands and go like this. Tuck your thumbs in, make it artistic. Nice and round, not rectangular. Now sing inside this space. Don't dribble over the edge, but make sure you fill up the space. Go ahead. Oh. Now, we all have a concept what that is. Now, what about this? This is, for all practical purposes, as soft as you're capable of singing. What is that? When I get so soft, my voice quits. Ah, ah. I want you to do that 3 times. And I want you to notice that exact spot where it quits vibrating. Find that spot. And the 3rd time, go right up to the edge, but don't let it quit. Start, mezzo forte. Till it quits. Again. Till it quits. Last time. Right to the edge. When I say to you, sing pianissimo, you know what it is. I know what it is. And if I don't like what you're doing over here, sopranos, I'll say, let's sing pianissimo plus. Just a little more. But always related to something that they immediately understand. Next, going in the other direction, is definitely a feeling of more. All of a sudden I expand. You do it. Ready? And go. And this for all practical purposes, is as strong as you're capable of singing. Now, I know people are going to say, well, what about 3 Fs? Or what about 3 Ps? Or 4 Ps? Or 5 Ps? Yeah, I've seen 5. I've never seen 6, but I've seen 5. Mahler's Second Symphony, 4 Ps when they come in. Aufverstehen. What does that mean? It doesn't mean soft. It means that much more intense. Because remember, the softer it sings, the more difficult it gets. And finally you get down to where, yes. Now, for the rest of the year, no more tenors. You're still a little too strong there in that section. They won't remember that by tomorrow. No. Relate everything. So that is, that's just one example. The last thing I'm going to say, last thing we'll pick is, when am I supposed to quit? I can quit. Oh, wow. No, I don't have that much. Okay. No, let's attack the elephant in the room. Pitch. Okay? I'm telling you, that's what people struggle with the most. And I have had colleagues critique me. I do festivals, whether Carnegie Hall or any of those places. I've had people, gosh, you never mentioned pitch once. Didn't you hear that they were singing flat? This is what I discovered. I did an all-state in New Mexico. New Mexico has a great all-state. The room is perfect, even better than this one. Everybody is just, the acoustics, everything's perfect. I go in there, we're working. I want to tell you, the second day after lunch is devastating. The voice sounds the same person doing the same music. After lunch, everybody wants to take a nap, especially me. Sure. So we're doing Bruckner Christus Factus Est. You know that? 8 parts, a cappella. 8 or 10 pages. Okay? Let's sing right after lunch. Are you kidding me? You're supposed to generate excitement, get everybody up. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like it. They don't feel like it. Let's just sing, okay? Christus. We go all the way to the end of the page, hold the chord, play it. What's wrong? Flat. Yeah. Let's try it again. We do it again, down the bottom of the page, hold it. What's wrong? Flat. Who's doing it? Huh? I say, who's doing it? Stop it. I'll tell you what. We're going to start again. This time, we're not going to use our voice. And we're going to go along. And when we get to a certain chord, I'm going to hold it. Then I'm going to point to you and I say, sing your pitch. We'll find out who's flat. Who's doing it? Somebody is pulling us down. Well, everybody, you know. Well, I of course have never done that. Never done that. But they don't know it. So we begin. Right. Opening pitch, here we go. And then there's some people sitting there. Why aren't you singing? Huh? I can tell you're not singing. I said, do everything you normally do when you sing, except use your voice. Okay. So we have to go through that routine for a while until everybody catches on, everybody knows that I'm watching. Okay, now we go. Altos. I told you not to breathe there. Okay, we do it again. And I keep it going as long as I know everybody is psyched in. I want to tell you, 40 minutes I was rehearsing. We come to the end of the piece, sing the chord, play it right in tune. It works 100% of the time. I have done it 100 times. It has never failed. And I say, see, That's where music exists. In the halls of memory, your brain will not accept the wrong pitch. If you know the music, you can only do it if everybody knows their part. You can't do it with a new piece where they don't know their part. They'd lose their place. Okay, now I'm going to allow you to use your voice. Okay, finally, they get to sing. One page, you get to the bottom of the page, hold the chord, play it flat. Yeah. You sing better when you don't use your voice. You sing better when you don't use your voice. Now with my chorale, we're out on tour, and you sing maybe 3 performances a day, but there's some things you want to correct. You don't have them sing some more. There's a lot of silent singing. And even at festivals, you know, we make those kids sing way too much. And so I always save it until about the last couple of rehearsals, then we start working on the inner ear. The inner ear. First develop the inner ear to satisfy the outer ear. Pitch is not the result of poor hearing. Bad pitch is a result of poor intent. Yeah. One definitely hears better without the voice. Hence, one sings better in tune without the voice. Now, last thing I'm going to say about pitch. Could I have a volunteer to come up and, I'm not going to put you on the spot and make you sing a solo or anything, but just do something with me, a little demonstration with me. Have a volunteer, preferably maybe a male. Okay, yeah, come on. Are you an alto? What? Oh, okay. Well, come on. I'll give it a try. My voice is shocked. And don't go laugh at me because wait till you're 85 years old. Yeah. Thank you so much. Can you take off your mask? I'm vaccinated. Okay, let's come on over here. Okay. Here's what I did with my singers the last few years because, they're all studying voice. A lot of them are voice majors, and so everybody's a musician. Everybody knows how to read music, So what I wanted to find out is attitude. I don't want a bad apple in the group. Attitude, and the other thing, I wanted to see if they could hear. And so, Allison, I want you to sing a pitch. And let's do it on the vowel E, because it's the brightest and they can hear it the best.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to match her pitch. I'm going to try my best to match her pitch.
We'll make it an
So let's hope. Oh, thank you so
Yes.
much. And then, go ahead. Okay, pretty good, huh? Pretty good. I mean,
That was great.
my heartbeat. The heartbeat. You can hear it fluctuate the pitch. This time, Allison, when you sing that pitch, block out what you hear from me,
Okay.
and I'm going to start going sharp. So don't go up with me. It's really very good, but you started going up a little bit. But my voice is so shot, I'm still having trouble. Now this time I'm going to go flat. Now you know what direction I'm going, so okay.
All right.
And so what you are going to experience is that you're going to start hearing the beats like a piano tuner hears, right? And the further out of tune we get, the faster the beats go. I don't want to go so fast that we're starting to sing a minor second. I want to go just fast enough to make the beats go like a wah, 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 maybe something like that, okay? Very good. Can you hear it? Okay, now I'm going to go sharp and flat, but not at the same time.
Oh, okay. I mean, you are that good. Right?
Okay. Thank you so much. Give her a hand. God bless you. I want to do that with each one. I don't think I could do it today because my voice is so shot. But then, when they have this experience, now we're going to double up. So I want you to pick a partner. Go ahead, just pick a partner who's next to you. There we go. Go ahead. And stand up and face each other quickly. Quickly. Just quickly. Look at me. Excuse me. Look at me. You got a partner? Okay, look at me. Look at me. Excuse me. Look at me. One of you be A and one of you be B. Make a decision. Go. Okay, look at me. Look at me. Excuse me. Look at me. Okay, now we're going to put the tops of our heads together. I mean the tops of it, not the forehead. Put your hand on top of your head and say, I feel it now. You feel the vibration there? Of course you do. Okay, you're going to put the top, when I say go, you're going to put the tops of your heads together. I'm going to play a pitch, and then when I say you try to both, excuse me, you both try to tune. And when I say A, then the A person start teasing it up and go sharp. And when I say tune, you bring it back down. When I say B, then B tease it up. And when I say tune, you tune, okay? And when you need a breath, you just stop, take a breath. And let's do it on the vowel ooh, because ooh creates the most vibration on your head. Ready? Get set. Heads together. And excuse me, everybody's going to be on this pitch. Men up here, ladies down here. On this pitch and ready, go. Ooh, go. No, men, not an octave flow. No, excuse me, stop. No, basses, no. Not that. This one. Okay, ready, go. Heads together, go. Make it vibrate. A sharp. Tune. B sharp. Tune. Sit. Yeah. It's not a very long. Okay, and that's all I want to say about pitch. You might try to play around with that. So you want them to become sensitive. You want them to become sensitive to that degree. Tiny little vibration. They have to be sensitized to a feeling. And of course, they have to believe in your philosophy. It's not just a matter of, Savannah's, you're flat. Let's raise it up. Are you kidding me? Well, in summation, I don't know where you come from, but I was born in the middle of the Depression, in the middle of Nebraska, which is in the middle of the United States, in the middle of a farm, in the middle of nowhere, and a strong, strapping farm kid I was not. Matter of fact, they said I was so skinny, my eyes were single file, and between them and my belly button, it reminded them of a clarinet. But after my senior year, the summer after my senior year in high school, I burned my dad's John Deere tractor. I wrecked the family pickup. I planted the corn so crooked they couldn't find the rows. And my papa thought, maybe this one should do something else. I was one of I was the middle child of 13 children, and nobody in my church, my community, our relation, went to college. But a miracle happened. I was permitted to go to college. And then I started teaching music, and every time I'd come home, my dad would say, "Now, son, tell me again, what is it exactly that you do?" And I tried to explain, and finally we did an all-state in Hastings, Nebraska. Somebody here was there. And Papa came up, first time in his life, watched me rehearse all afternoon. Then a performance that night. You know what it's like after the performance. Everybody's celebrating, high five, celebrating. And I see, now Papa, see, that's what I do. I just go around, make people sing. And he said, "And they pay you for that?" Yes, they actually pay me for that. And we're so fortunate to have had these great patriots who had a dream that Catherine Lee Bates talks about in this "Oh Beautiful for Patriot Dream that sees beyond the years." We should be fortunate enough to have politicians that can see beyond the next election, right? But we had these great patriots who saw beyond the years, and people like John Adams who said, "My generation must study war and revolution so that my children have the opportunity to study industry and commerce, so that my grandchildren have the opportunity to study art and music." Yeah, and that's you and me. That is a gift, and that is a gift in so many different ways. So, when I was doing my book, I went to my son and I said, "Hey, Chris, I'm doing a little research. Would you answer some questions for me?" And he said, "Sure, Dad." I said, "Okay. Number 1, do you love me?" He said, "Sure, Dad." I said, "Okay. Question number 2, who do you love more, me or your Grandpa Ehly?" "Come on, Dad, what kind of a question is that?" I said, "Well, think about it." "Well, you, because Grandpa's just a memory." "Okay, fair enough." Question number 3, do you love Hank? His first little grandson. Wow, his face got serious. "Yeah, sure do, Dad." Question number 4, how much? Oh man, he got all choked up. No words. I said, finally, the first time in your life, you now realize how much I love you. Because you see, I loved my dad as much as you love me, but it doesn't begin to compare with what I feel for my son or my daughter. Love is directional. It comes from the top down. And no parent should expect their children to love them more than they love their children. And no teacher should expect the children to love you more than you love them. Yeah. Okay, well, I want to tell you, Sydney Hudson, thank you so much for inviting me. This is really a wonderful place to come. Wonderful people, and you have been so nice and so attentive to me. You fill my heart. And I know many of you probably think, well, you know, it's a lot easier for me to get up here and talk and stuff, but I don't realize the battles that you're fighting. But I do. I've been there. And I'm reminded of a little poem. You know, I like poems. It says, "A man stood at the heavenly gate. His face was scarred and old. He stood before that man of fate for admission to the fold. 'What have you done,' St. Peter asked, 'to gain admission here?' 'I've been a music teacher, sir,' he replied, 'for many and many a year.' Just then the pearly gates swung open wide. St. Peter rang the bell. 'Come in and choose your harp,' he said. 'You've had your share of hell.'" Could you all come up with forever music and let's sing this tune together around the piano. Come on up. Come on. Come on. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Forever Music by Mark Hayes. Yeah. Can I talk to you right afterwards? Okay. Come on up. Come on up. Here we go. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on in the circle where you can really hear. Come on in. Come on in. This is with oboe and cello, and we're gonna close the reading session tomorrow with it also, with oboe and cello, so they'll hear it. But I think these are. Does anybody know this piece? Anybody see it yet? Yeah. Okay. It's. I think the text is absolutely for you and me.